Hi guys, if you ask any Conservative MP, or more precisely any Tory minister, they will tell you the same thing. Strike action doesn't work. That taking industrial action only harms patients, be it in the NHS, or students when it comes to schools. Now, they will never provide an alternative to industrial action, but will say that it should be avoided, because budgets are tight or due to the lie that it drives inflation. However, here the Education Secretary Gillian Keegan actually admitted that strike action does work. Have a listen.
Well, earlier I sat down with the Education Secretary Gillian Keegan, and I began by asking her whether school children are owed an apology from the government for strike action.
I've always been consistent. I don't see that any good comes out of strike action. I just don't. But I am actually delighted now that we've got to a position where we've agreed and all four teaching unions have accepted and they'll recommend it, and I just hope the teachers say yes.
What I mean is an apology from government as much as from teachers for the impact on their education, especially running up to exams.
Well, my role is to make sure that children have the best education they possibly can, and that's what I spend every day trying to do. You know, there's always issues with that. Obviously, there's issues with recruiting for certain subjects, and I will always do whatever I can to make sure that they have that. And of course, nobody wants to see strikes, and you know, and as I said at the time, I've said all along, I do not think strike action really adds anything either to children's education or to patients' health.
Although perhaps it's worked in this case because you've gone up from where you wanted to be.
Well, I guess we can both walk away knowing that it is more than was offered for this year, although we did offer something for last year as part of the negotiation.
Okay, so either it's the case that strike action works or strike action doesn't work, because the whole Tory narrative is that strike action doesn't work, and here she is admitting that yes, strike action works. Because it's about creating a narrative. It's about convincing the public that the enemy, and the right-wing media help out here too, that the enemy is the teacher, or the trade union, or the nurse, or the trade union representing the nurse, or junior doctors. It's always the person who's striking is the enemy of the public. This is the narrative, never the government. Now notice here that she wouldn't apologise for actions taken by the government. Well, it's a bit pointless because MPs, certainly Conservative MPs, will never apologise. Government ministers will never apologise. But we got close to an apology with Boris Johnson, but then it turned out to be a fake one. So they won't even say sorry, and even when they do, they don't mean it. But the main point here, of course, is that strike action does work. And unions have to take industrial action because they negotiate with their bosses, they negotiate with the government, they negotiate with those in charge, those who are in charge of increasing wages or improving conditions. And if those things don't improve through negotiations, then industrial action is the last option they have. Now, of course, the response I would have to all of this is, if you don't like industrial action, then what would you suggest they do instead? And unfortunately, we'll never get an answer to that question. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.